All right, welcome to Vibe Osmosis, everyone. How you guys doing today?
Doing very good.
Good.
Very good.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves and what you do.
I'm Brian Donaldson of the Elephant Walk. I play guitar, write most of the songs and the lyrics, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Good stuff.
And my name is Brian Kish, and I'm the other half of the Elephant Walk. I play drums and occasionally sing and provide accompaniment for BD's wonderful songs.
How'd you guys come across each other? How'd you meet?
Should I start this or should Brian? That's a good one.
I want to hear your recollection, actually.
It's crazy because I went through a turbulent time in high school where I really was like the biggest outcast of the entire scene. So I was looked at as like the weird dude and the class clown. Hated to say that, but this dude right here, Brian, was like, wait a second. All right, so you play guitar and you sing and you kind of have this urban vibe to you, but it doesn't seem like that's all you do. So I was kind of like, nah, I actually love rock and roll, bro. Like, I really feel like, from Sonic Youth to the Sex Pistols, I hate to put Johnny Ryan on there because of his dumb Trump allegiance. Look, I don't want to get that. It's going to be in the interview, but I'm going to let it be because people are the guy to be with these politics. But when Johnny was kind of like, one of my biggest influences, he was one of my biggest influences. Hate to say that because I love a lot of that album, Never Mind the Bullocks. Yeah. Then you got like The Clash and you got all these other bands I can get into. It's going to take over a whole freaking day. But Brian's like, okay, you know what? Like, I know you play that guitar and I know you can sing, so let's just build this duo up. Originally what happened on the first jam, now this will be a little quick one, we had my friend Pixie, who well out there, we haven't talked in a while, we're definitely going to chill again soon. So we were a three-piece until it went back to a duo. So that's one little thing there. But otherwise, that's how it started. High school into college. So I got out of high school 2005, and then went on to college for 10 years. Killed me from 2005 to 15. And then, we kind of had a little bit of a little bit of a hiatus, and then we kind of came back. That's basically it.
Basically, since 2007 or 2006, and we've just taken various hiatuses until then, which is why this is a cool year for us, just because we finally kind of put out an official album, CD, and whatever. But we really just started playing together because I don't think there were many other like-minded people in the high school that we went to, so we were just kind of the only two dudes around that were interested in.
Funny fact, we never did an open mic. That's a funny fact. We never did an open mic at the high school, but we should have. People would have been very floored by that.
Well, I don't know if we were buddies while we were both still in high school, but maybe a year or two after you graduated was when we first actually started kind of.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah, because I graduated. I think you were there. How long were you in high school? That's a good little segue.
I graduated in 2008. So
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. But I got out 2 years earlier than that. Well, that's why I think we definitely met in 2007, and then you were in high school until then. Then the funny thing is this is a little segue, but then basically he was actually going to go to film school, but I don't know if he ever finished that. That's another thing Brian could talk about.
I did not. I sure did not. But I went there technically. I can say that I went.
But I graduated. But like I said, it took me 10 years to get out of college. It was devastating. Got my associate's degree. Never going back. Ridiculous. Oh man.
Before, did you guys have music influences that brought you guys both together, or was it something that
That's what I was stating. Sonic Youth is probably one of me and Brian's favorite bands. We love Sonic.
Big one we connected over.
I will say Block Party too. Block Party's another one.
You really liked Block Party. I also remember the first time talking to you, you were wearing a Misfits shirt, so I thought that was
yes.
cool.
Yes,
This is like a
yes,
whole
yes.
debate now. It's like, yeah, everybody likes Misfits, but I mean, at our high school, it's like not everyone was into that kind of stuff. And I think we were talking about like talking about like Sid Barrett era Pink Floyd and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, I was a big Pink Floyd, Sid Barrett era. Nothing against David. I like Comfortably Numb. That's a very good guitar solo. But wasn't a big fan of all the stuff after that. I definitely would sample from that though. The Wall has some crazy samples if you look into it. That's definitely a crazy record. I'm not gonna lie.
So I did get to listen to your guys' stuff on like Bandcamp and YouTube, and I was wondering, so like throughout the time in the past and like what brought you guys together now, like what was like the change or like the drive to like do this new stuff what you're up to now?
I'll
I
answer
think
that
it's
one. Um,
okay.
I got it. So I mean, I just got it. So Crazy Intuition was actually getting this record done, which everyone should go check out on the Bandcamp. We got a whole bunch of CDs too for the next show, which
Yeah.
is April 4th. Yeah, I think it should be it, right, BK? Yeah, so April 4th. Um, Real talk, like I don't have the bread and the type of money to talk anything right now. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I'm kind of a starving artist, but
Yeah.
at that one day that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go take the train, go to get the Uber or whatever, and get to Amityville. Take the Uber from Amityville and go to Westfall and do this live recording with Brian and say that is what we need to facilitate. And there was other things done too. I don't want to get into that right now. It's a little bit of discussion. Crazy day at Westfall Recordings. Thank you, Anthony and Ray, for accompanying us there and just being dope and being cool. Like, so we just got there January 2021, right?
Okay.
Talking
Like
the
20.
BK about this. All right, so and we just got like right into the studio and just floored these records out like we didn't even have a rehearsal. That's what's so crazy. We just got and floored it, and then basically what happens is with the record from now on is that we did a couple of edits. Shout out to BK for the edits, and that's what become the record. But without doing this record, we wouldn't be back to our state right now because this record meant a lot to myself and to Brian. Like we really got in that studio, never rehearsed for a year. Straight up, didn't rehearse for a year. Got in there and floored out 8 tracks of fire. That's how we got back to the energy.
And it's well, the reason that like I guess we're making more of a push now is like we were just sitting on this recording for like 5 or 6 years, and there's no real good reason why we didn't put it out. It's like so old now, but yeah, we recorded everything in like an hour, all done live in like 1 or 2 takes. But I think the difference now is like I'm able to like just order a bunch of CDs of the album on a whim, and like I can actually like pay for stuff now. Whereas like back when we recorded it, and certainly before that, like neither of us had any money at all. And I'm not like way more well off now, but I have a little bit more, disposable income that I can just press some CDs of this. And we both didn't drive for very many years, and I drive now. Now we can play more shows, and I think enough time has passed too that like again, like in high school we bonded because there weren't a lot of like-minded people that we knew of, but now I think we've like surrounded ourselves with enough like-minded people that more people are kind of ready to listen to our crazy nonsense, you know.
Now, here's a fun question for you guys. What's your guys' like favorite or best memory of working together?
That I want Brian to start that one. That's a good one for Brian.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Well, is Brian gonna go? I'm talking about Kiss. We both have the same name, so it's confusing.
Well, what do you have one? I mean,
It is a deep one.
All right, I guess I'll go. This is actually this one thing I loved that we would always do, which we don't do anymore. My favorite pastimes, even though they were horrible and great at the same time, I've made songs about them. Anytime we went to Manhattan, I'm sorry, I love Manhattan. I don't know what it is. It's the New Yorker that I used to live in the Bronx and Queens, but it's the New Yorker in me. Whenever we took the time to go to Manhattan, or even Brooklyn, just to go away from the island. That's a good way to put it. I always loved the whole entire funniness of us getting like, a couple of times with good food, and then we go to the venue, and everybody would kind of just be like, "This band's fucking weird, man." Like, yeah, but I'm to the point. I'm like, yeah, you can say that, bro, but I'm up here rocking my black ass off, and Brian's doing his shit. So none of y'all can say nothing, bro. And the funniest response is after the 10 minutes of us being there, either people were into it or they just thought we were the weirdest shit ever. So I always loved the city's recklessness to us compared to the island. The island was a little bit the same too, but the city was even worse. So that's one thing I always remember, that the city really don't love us. But we're gonna come back though and show y'all we real.
That's a good memory, is that they didn't like us. I mean, I think at the time it was.
I feel honestly, if you don't like what I'm doing, I'm not gonna look at it like you're my enemy. You're just jealous of my energy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That is deep. That's a good way to look at it too.
I think at the time too, we were like probably had this attitude of like, either you're gonna like us or not, and if not, go fuck yourself, And I wouldn't have that attitude now, or maybe I can only speak for myself. But I did think of a fun memory. Remember that time where we were probably going to Manhattan, I guess, and we were playing a show, and then somebody next to us started talking to us, and they were like, "Oh, you're in a band." And then remember we played like a song or two on the train. Like I was just like,
"Oh yes, that was a good one. That was a good one. That's actually true."
I wish we had some way of recording that, but yeah, we like performed like a couple of our songs like on the train, and I was just like playing my drumsticks on the seat, and we did like a couple of songs. That was actually really fun.
But did I have my acoustic at the time? Because that's crazy. What? That's probably what I didn't play the electric.
I think you just played the electric, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I wish
normally. Yeah.
I just wish I had like a mini amp, man. Those are the vibes, man. Like a Marshall mini amp or something. I would love that, bro.
They are really fun. So this one goes back to your guys' music too. So like on your release on Ice, do you guys like have like a favorite track that you guys both agree are your favorites, or is it kind of different for you guys different on both of that?
Okay, I'm gonna do my top 5. I hate to do this. I'll do it. 15 million.
That's great.
15 million is a great opener. I was really crying half of the time at the beginning of that. Ascending is just kind of funny. I always just kind of wanted to make a song about the moments of like love and allure and arousal, so I thought that's kind of funny.
That is really deep.
Scotland's like the best like ender because it's really angry, but it's also honest. I think anyone who's ever been in a bad relationship can relate to that. Flea Market is like fun for me because but I wouldn't play it again live at the next show. I've been playing it too often, but that one is just like, it's fun. It's a fun little ditty that's kind of dream pop and also, I guess, like kind of still punk rock in its own essence too. I'm talking about being an outcast and stuff. And then 5 probably be, I'm sorry to say it, but Across All Boundaries went to my heart too because I wrote that about just believing in yourself and just believing that you'll be something across all boundaries. So that's it.
That's funny.
I feel like
I like the messages a lot, and the sound is really good.
Thank you very much.
I feel like Scotland is like a really epic track. Like there's, I feel like over the years people tend to like some of our slower, really heavy songs, and I feel like that track kind of has a little bit of everything in it. So like maybe that one, but I've always liked Across All Boundaries. I feel like it's just a really, we've started opening with that one a lot more recently, and I feel like it's a great like hit you in the face kind of starter, So I like that one too.
So this one's a funny question. This one's a little bit different. If you could have a fictional character in any TV show, I guess, as your best friend, who would you choose?
Static Shock, one of the greatest.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, friend. You're looking out. It's a great show.
I think also my friend, who I've talked to in a while, Nicholas, helped with the drawing of that. Very good friend of mine. He's been involved with Black Panther, and he's also been involved with. He's like that dude's going places. Like dope black dude. Like from here, he's not from Baldwin. think he's from Boston. Don't remember right now. Not gonna say nothing. But that dude helped with some of the drawing and some of the drawing in the new static. So like, definitely check him out. I don't know how to say his. I don't know how to say his full name, but he's working. He's working with them. Very good drawer. Very good artist. I would love to get some. Because I did the art on this record, but I would love to get some art from him. But I gotta pay him up a little bit. But I would definitely love to get some art from him in the future. You know, because he's really dope. Don't know his whole name. I think it's Nicholas Ivan something. I'm not gonna get into the whole thing, but definitely, you know, when I'm done, if I'm on Instagram, I'll probably try to send Brian like the link to my homie's art, and he'll be like, "Yo, this guy's amazing," because he's really dope.
Take a deep look.
So I'll send it to Brian, and he'll send it your way. But yeah, that's my friend Nicholas. I've met him actually because I was part of a crew that I'm not part of right now because I got in an argument with one of my friends. Ridiculousness, but I'm gonna try to come back, slide that, and try to let that be resolved because it's my fault. I got angry at the person that I need to get angry at. It's just I'm a little petty.
How life goes.
But we can get to the next question though. If you hear my lyrics and the way I act, like I'm a very sensitive person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can get that too.
So we can get to the next question.
Other Brian, did you don't have an answer?
Oh yeah, Brian, go yet.
My best friend. Oh my god. I want to say like Dogbert because Dogbert is so cute, but he's so wise, and he's like constantly on the verge of taking over the world. So I kind of want to be on his good side. You know what I mean?
I thought you would have said Garfield though. I thought you would have said Garfield though.
He just complains all the time. I don't know. He's very mopey.
Oh,
you know, Dogbert's like sardonic and you know, a sarcastic little bitch.
Yeah, this is good. So
that would at least be entertaining.
Here's a classic Vibe Osmosis question. If you guys are stranded on an island but could only take one thing with you, what would you guys bring?
This is my answer too. I wish this thing didn't die so fast on batteries, but I gotta go the Dilla route, and I don't want the older version. You know, I like the older version, but I'm a little Dill. I would actually have to get me a SP303. I'm sorry, because if it runs by batteries, I can make beats on it, and I have all the files saved on the drive. I think that's a good way to make. Cause I'm a producer too, so I feel like that's a good way to make beats.
Are we assuming no family members or girlfriends are watching, so we can eliminate that? I'm just kidding. Maybe my cat, I guess. I don't know. I love my cat. You know.
Oh no!
So.
How are you gonna feed your cat?
We'll figure it out when we get there. I mean, are we going there to die? Are we living on borrowed time?
Yeah, you're right.
I would have a second answer because I don't want to die on the island. So you got to be hydrated, right? So I think like a 6-pack of Arizonas is kind of cool with me too.
All right, here's a funny question.
I mean, I would love some water, preferably, because I need that to live.
For the water.
But after that, maybe my cat or something.
So this was kind of the last meal question. What would your ultimate last meal be?
Okay. Am I getting thrown in the slammer and executed? You know something?
Getting executed for sure.
God. All right. Can I eat invincibility food, like something that like they can try and stick me with a needle or like hang me or whatever, and I'm just invincible, and then, but I'm also, it gives me nutrients at the same time, you know?
That's like
live another day.
Best meals you could possibly have, I guess.
Man. Give me some Thai food, I guess. I don't know. I love Thai food. You know, give me some curry.
You see, the thing with me is like I didn't even know you like Thai food like that. But then I asked you about Chinese, but I didn't know you like Thai food like that. That's crazy.
Chinese is the best food.
I think Thai is way better though. I agree with Brian on that. But if I had my last meal, I'm gonna go a little bit more healthy with it. So I'm thinking, okay, let me get this right. All right, so it's not that healthy, but it might be like what I think will just give me a whole bunch of nutrients before I
You're about
pass.
to die. Eat something unhealthy.
Yeah, it's true. So I would do. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do because it sounds crazy. Chicken pot pie, ridiculous.
Oh man, you are ridiculous.
Chicken pot pie with apple juice on the side, yes, and the side order would be the nacho fries from Taco Bell. That's it. That's my last meal.
This is the best meal I've ever heard in my life. Here's a funny question, okay, too. So this is like a classic one for Vibe Osmosis. So if you had a time machine, would you go forwards or backwards, and why?
Woo, this is like my question. So futuristic.
Yeah, this is the good one right here.
I'm going back to the decade where nothing was shit for black people, but that's kind of hard. So,
Amen.
I feel like I don't know. All these decades have been kind of shitty in general. So, but if I wanted to, I would go back to when Hendrix was alive just to talk to him. So 1965 to 70. That's what I do.
That'd be really rad.
I'm in pretty much the same camp. I think I want to just go back to like 1960s swinging London because I'll just like watch any movie that takes place in 60s swinging London, and yeah, I want to go hang out at the Bag of Nails with Hendrix and McCartney and Pete Townsend and all those people.
What was that venue in that Pink Floyd movie, the Interstellar Overdrive movie? That venue was crazy, bro.
That
Tonight, let's make love in London. Was that the UFO club maybe or something?
Yeah, I wish I was at that club. That club was crazy.
The Daft Punk actually has a really good idea. I think maybe if you live in the future and the past, you have the best of both worlds. They brought like the funk and the dubstep or the electronic.
There is definitely like a melding of future and past in their sound, yeah.
To get into some movies and media, what kind of like movies and shit you guys watch?
My top 5 are Jumanji. Which no one talks about. They just hate that on that movie. The first one. Don't watch the other ones with The Rock. I'm sorry, The Rock. I love you, homie, but you're crazy. Anyway, so Jumanji, the first one. Top 5 said Never Say Die. I think from the James Bond era. That should be right? Ryan, Never Say Die. Yeah. Let me think about it. Then you got. If I had to say animated movies, I'm sorry to say The Lion King because that junk's classic. Probably one of my favorite little kid movies. You know, some of the stuff in that movie was very kid-like. If you think about it.
Yeah, it's really deep fucking message.
Then what else?
And then the one was terrible.
Yeah, that wasn't very kid-like of them. And then and then my other top 2, which are anime movies, which no one really watched, are Magnas, I call them. Yeah. I gotta say the Street Fighter. There's 2 Street Fighters. I'm gonna say the first Street Fighter 2 animated movie, and then the last movie I would watch that was like a anime or magma is the Gundam Wing Ella's Waltz, which I still have on VHS that I recorded from Toonami, which is crazy.
Oh, that's actually really funny. I used to record stuff on VHS from like TV shows as well.
Yeah, now it's VHS. Is this just favorite movies in general? I like film noir. I like I really like gritty British kitchen sink dramas from like the 50s and 60s. I like David Lynch just passed away, so I mean like Eraserhead's one of my favorites. I really like
to a legend.
David Lynch. I really like the Marx Brothers stuff, like A Night at the Opera and Duck Soup and all those movies. I could watch that over and over. Midnight Cowboy is one of my favorites. Singing in the Rain, believe it or not, is one of my all-time favorites because that movie is just pure fun. And I mean, there's lots of others. Like I have my whole one of my other separate careers is like doing movie reviews on YouTube. So I
We
could
checked
like,
on YouTube too. It's definitely
I
lit.
could derail this entire interview and just talk everybody's heads off. But I would say those are definitely
Are you
definitely
a
all-time.
Letterbox fan?
Yeah, I have a letterbox. Yep.
Yeah, I like to always.
You got one too?
Okay, so here's a fun question. If you guys could create your own holiday that didn't exist, what would you create?
Okay, we're gonna say this real talk. This is all me. All right. This is a holiday, but it's also an event, which will never happen. I want there to be a day where there's only festivals for one whole day with only duos, like the White Stripes, Black Keys, back in the day. No, nobody else on stage. It's just two people.
How about the Elephant Wall?
Yeah, an entire day where it's just two-piece bands. The emissions all good, and basically what happens is on this day, you get free food, you get free admission. But then what happens is you also can donate to the bands, and everyone is eligible to drink alcohol and do whatever the fuck they want. And there's no bullshit laws about anything that we want to do on the other side about narcotics.
No child will be seen without an alcoholic drink in their hand at any time. Every hour, on the hour, we will execute a record industry CEO. That is my plan for 2028. Thank you very much.
Say it like that, but I'm just saying I want a utopia event like that, where it's like all duos and everyone's having the most fun for a whole day, and nobody has to go to school or anything. Everybody's out, and we just all see all these duo bands and have the best
time. How many duo bands do you think that there will be in that whole month?
That's good. If we can't get 30, we're gonna have to get 11. It's gonna have to be 11. 11. That's how it's gotta be. That's my final number. 11. That's enough too. Say we start from 8. Say we start from 8 and end by 8. So that's we don't want to start that early.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
I did that. I'm going crazy, right? So let's not say from 8. Let's start from 11 p.m. That's a fire way to do it. 11 p.m. to 9:30. That should be fire.
All right. And the audience is going to be primarily composed of people on cocaine and ecstasy, because I don't know how, and meth, because I don't know how the fuck you're going to be like awake dancing at like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Right.
7-11 though. 11 a.m. 11 a.m. to 9:30. That's how we're gonna do it. I messed it up. 11:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. That's how we're gonna do it.
Let's keep it real.
Straight up.
Just keeping it clean.
And I would just have a day of, call it like mind your own damn business day, where like no one has to go to work, no one has to go to school.
That's another good one.
Get the day to yourself. You don't have to like see your stupid family and drive to, out to Suffolk or whatever the hell, just like stay home, clean your room and whatever, no questions asked.
That should be like a whole month.
You know what? This is why you've got my vote. Now we're starting to sound like Sweden over here.
So this goes back to you guys' music to keep this a little bit more interesting. What's your recording process and techniques?
Okay, this is something I gotta go into, because we didn't record this. We gotta really thank Ray. Ray is a beast, man. So we got in the studio. He had all the mics set up. So basically, I'm in a separate room. Brian's in a separate room. Everything's mic'd up, though. Straight up, like maybe more than, like what? How many mics? Like 5 mics into Pro Tools? So basically, this shit is like all live. So you got Brian in the room drumming. You got me on a microphone in the other room with my guitar. My pedals on the floor. So I hate to show this dumb thing. This was not the one. This was not the one I use. I use Brian's. But this is my multi-effects.
Oh, those are crazy. Those are fun.
So I have something very similar, yeah.
So when I did the record, I used Brian. So so that's running through a Fender Twin, and that's mic'd up too. So Ray's got that mic'd up. But the funniest thing, I told Ray, like, yo, which kind of might have destroyed the record a little bit, but I don't think it did it. After listening back, I'm like, oh, you know what? Having that right channel be more bass tone and octavey on the mix. I kind of wanted to do that. I wanted to blend it right at the bottom and on the left side, and I have the guitar on the right. So I was like, cause I told him, I'm like, I don't want this to sound so this trebly, if that's a good way to put it. Cause like, there needs to be bass on this record. So I was like, yo, can we just blend the tones? So that's one thing I told Ray to do. I'm like, blend the bass over here, blend the guitar to the right. From that, it's all tracked from Pro Tools, and nothing is quantized. Like, we literally did every take straight up, no quantization. It's all live.
Did we play to a click track? We might.
No, there's no click. There's no click.
Okay.
He literally got us in the room, and he's like, yo, okay, we're gonna do this straight live. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. That's it.
Yeah, so the way the recording process of this particular album worked was our friend Ray Marte, who has this recording studio, Westfall Studios, he had this deal at the time where you pay a flat rate and then you get about 8 hours of studio time, and then you walk out with like a finished product. It's mixed and mastered and everything by the time it's done. I think most people would use this as like high quality demos. We're cheap bastards and we're like, nope, that's good enough for an album for me. Let's just record this all in an hour. But we also had like the added experience of like, I mean, even when these songs are now, you know, this was recorded like 5-6 years ago, but even so, a lot of the songs in the album were like 5-6 years old by the time we recorded it. So we just played them so many times on our own that we were able to just show up and knock it out. But before that, like, we did fine stuff.
We gotta give Jay a shout out because that was, we lost all that data. We gotta give Jay a shout out. That's what was supposed to be dropped, but that got all erased. So we gotta give Jay a shout. I hate to say that, but we gotta do that.
The album that never came out because it got.
Yeah, I don't mean to be like that, but yeah, you know.
But we also recorded with Rob, and he had like a little bit more of a you know, sophisticated setup, but mostly like a lot of the stuff that is online or on Bandcamp or whatever, a lot of it is like just in my basement and like recorded like onto a cassette tape, and there's like no mics. It's just like, let's just put it in the middle of the room and hopefully it doesn't sound like ass.
Except for the last demo.
It sounds like ass, and I wish, you know, we had the wherewithal at the time to do something better, but I think part of the like lo-fi aesthetic, we'll call it, was like, it was born out of necessity, but it's also like, I think we just kind of liked that vibe at the time, but I'm glad that we have this CD that's like a better representation of what we actually sound like instead of just like crappy, you know, basement.
And also, instead of just, you know, hooking up, we had this mixer that Jay had. That was kind of and I would run the mixer back into a 2-channel interface. That's the last demo, that thing we have up, the Lo-Fi Olympics Volume 3. And then BK had to edit a lot of that record up because there's and that was a crazy time too, because we literally did that in such a weird way. We had all the mixer running through the interface, running back to the drum mic, running back to my, you know, the chaos that was instilled with that insanity that we did. That was crazy.
I still don't know much about recording and stuff, but at that time I didn't know anything, so I was really trusting you. Like, yeah, that sounds right. Okay, like
So we were just talking a little bit about like the mixing process and stuff on this on this previous recording process. So I was talking about like maybe in the past, like whenever I've seen these videos that you guys have out like on YouTube from like, you know, 13 years ago and stuff like that. Do you guys feel like after you guys like reflect on some of the past stuff that you guys done, do you guys still like plan to continue like changing up and like doing different stuff? Because it seems like it's been like a mixture between like rock and experimental type of stuff, or a little bit noisier stuff, and then now it's kind of also has like more to like a fine point with these recordings that's like now out on Bandcamp.
My thing is, we used to be I hate to say this, we used to be the type of band that brought a lot of gear to shows. And I hate to be the one, I'm the problem with that too. I used to bring my laptop, I used to bring my keyboard. But Brian only brought the kit, so let's not say. And also, he brought like an acoustic one time to let's say One Love to the Stella. Um, but that was we would have these random, we were trying to let the load be. I hate to say that like that, but the just loading in and getting out very easy. So
Yeah.
the way I like just doing it is like, let's have a guitar, run the guitar to a guitar amp, let's run the guitar to a bass amp, have a little bit of that bass EQ, have Brian get on the kit and just call it a day. Because by the end of the day, that's the easiest way to set up. I don't want to go back with the keyboards and the backing tracks. And even I even played bass on the tracks. That was another thing too. That was another. We did only this song that I'm talking about, the bass track. We only played it live once at Conley's, and then we did an electronic track, which I also played bass on, but now I put a bass track over it called Nights, but we haven't done those songs in a while. So we just want to just get that all out the way, because we've had a lot of setups. But now we're just like, nah, guitar and drums, easy. Put the guitar to a guitar amp, bass amp, call it that. That's it. That's easy. And that's how I think the record is represented too. It's simplicity at its most. It's like guitar, right and left, bass on the left, guitar on the right, done, drums. I think that's the easiest way for us to work further in the future,
Yeah, yeah.
Certainly live too. Yeah, I think we've just gotten to a point where bringing around too much gear is like a bit too much. But I could see maybe in further recordings that we explore more stuff, because it's just like inconvenient to do it live. But we've done like
so many electronic jams,
things and industrial type things and hip hop stuff, and
Right.
But it's hard to translate that live, I think, and I don't know. It's a little like pretentious maybe at this point to be like, we're bringing this here, this thing here, and like it's maybe just easier to rock, I think, because also we also tend to talk a lot in between songs, and that like eliminates half of that. So
Okay, so here's a fun question though that I don't always do, So what would you think is the first thing that people would do if they feared nothing in their life?
tell the truth.
That's a good question, man. That's a crazy good question. Damn.
Tell the truth is probably what they would do.
I feel that too.
I feel like so much of this, so much of life is like suppressing how you actually feel for various reasons. To not get in trouble, to not have an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
That one I like. I also feel with my answer.
Yeah.
If you didn't fear life, I think you would take more vacations. That's a good one. Because you're worried about where you want to travel, but it's like if you get out of the world and go somewhere else, you're going to feel a lot better in a different space. That's the second one. Because people fear planes, definitely, and ships and everything. So I feel like that's the other thing. You shouldn't fear vacation. It's actually you should enjoy.
Yeah.
I think there is something to that too, like a kind of uniquely American thing is like possibly being afraid to get out of your comfort zone and explore somewhere else, which isn't maybe necessarily the case in other parts of the world.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This one kind of goes back to your music. Do you guys have like a time that you guys remember that you got like too drunk at a show or played music that it actually turned out to be like a good thing?
We got too drunk, but it was a good thing.
Yeah.
Mine's the only one. I don't mean to say this. I used to drink and I used to smoke. I am completely sober right now.
Oh, all right, right on. I appreciate it.
But Brian can answer this question because I don't want to answer it.
Medians drank like and smoked like 3 times in his life, and I was present for like both of them. So don't let him give you this nonsense. I'm a recovering. No. So the question is, we got too inebriated, but it turned out that actually made it better.
Yeah. Because it doesn't happen all the time.
I mean, surprisingly, I don't know. Like it's only like more in the latter years that I honestly started like drinking more and stuff. Like maybe I smoked more back then, but I think that was another thing that helped us bond was like we weren't really like dating very much, and we weren't really interested in doing drugs. Like we were both big soda fanatics, as we still are. So there's less like rock and roll debauchery in our band in the band probably, but I mean, I don't know. I remember like playing at Centerville once, and I was like smoking in between songs. I was like, oh, "This is so cool, smoking," But I don't think there's any like crazy story. I have a personal story. Like I played a show live once where it was all like noise stuff that night, and I have no recollection of what the hell I did for 20, 30 minutes because it was a bit of like a meltdown kind of like it started off not good, and then I just was like, this sucks, and then I just started like almost doing like a stand-up act. Like I was sort of like berating the crowd and then doing like I just made it up and stuff, and like I have like no idea what happened, and I look back on that as like that was like probably the worst show I ever did because I just like panicked, and then but people will still bring that show up to me and be like, that was like the funniest, coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm like,
what did I even do? I don't even remember.
Exactly.
I think I
That
was probably like pretty drunk also, like sometimes when stuff's not going well you just start, so.
So, this was kind of a deep one. What do you believe happens whenever you die? Do you have any theories or beliefs?
Well, me being a Christian, I think I'm gonna be, hate to say this, be reincarnated. Probably into like a crazy. My favorite way to get reincarnated is to be a like frog in the ocean. Yeah. I'll say that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
They're doing the best videos.
It's hard to say because none of us can really say. It might just be lights out and that's it. I would like to think it's reincarnation. I mean,
Me too. I'm on the same.
certain places I don't want to respawn in, or times and places and stuff. So I hope I'm not like respawned in 1940s Germany or something. But I don't know.
That'd be a nightmare at that point.
But I guess I'm hopeful, and I feel like reincarnation can be a good thing, and like I'm not entirely read up on how reincarnation works, and I'm assuming it means like you wipe the palate clean, so it's not as if you can bring any like wisdom from your past life, unless that sometimes shines through in various moments that you can't control, I guess. I mean, I know people who claim that they can remember past lives that they've had and stuff like that. I wouldn't go that far, but
Yeah, near-death experiences. Do you believe in that?
ever since I started driving, I've had a few myself. Yeah, like seriously.
So I guess you do have a pet. You say you have a cat.
I have a cat. Yeah,
What's your cat's name?
Radon, like the gas.
Very nice. So how long have you had this cat? Do you know how old it is? It a boy or girl?
He's a boy. He's either 3 or 4. I actually found him on the street in the middle of the night, and it was like the same night that I like just went through a breakup, and I was at my friend's party, and they just got a new cat recently, and we were all like talking about how cute the cat was, and I think I said out loud like, man, I just really want a cat. And then this was the days before I was driving, and I used to ride my bike ridiculous distances, so it was probably like 10 miles or something to ride home. And it was like, I'm probably like drunk at this point, and about 4 a.m. or something, there's just this cat just like in the middle of the street, just, kind of just shimmying around, and I'm like, what's this guy's deal? And then sometimes when you see cats in the middle of the night, you're like, hey, buddy, and maybe they let you pet it or something, and then you're like, all right, well, best of luck to you. But this guy just wouldn't stop following me, and there was just a very short time in between, like, stop following me, and like, I guess you're my cat now, And it's that thing that people talk about, the cat distribution system. Like this guy literally just followed me home, and you know, I told my parents like, "Oh, I have this cat now," and they're like, "Well, you better bring him inside then," and that was it. And he's been enhancing our lives ever since.
So I was watching this really stupid clip of like these artists. Um, Welcome back.
What just happened? Are you there?
We might be there.
I'm playing. I don't know if you can hear my speakers when I'm playing effects in the back and guitar
All right.
to like give it like this like folly type of vibe. Or foley.
Get some
You
effects.
stop those hijinks at once.
Alright, well, like, I seen this really weird video where the guy was talking about how he had a job whenever he was 14, working at, like, this farm, where he had to jack off horses and put their jizz in a gallon. And the guy made millions of dollars from these guys jacking off horses. And I was like, this guy definitely is trauma dumping, but, like, his music was hardcore. So I'm kind of like wondering, do you ever have like a really terrible job where you had to go back home and like write a song about it?
What did you have to bring it there, Jeffrey?
Hard thing about me is like my worst job I hated, which is a home job, was data entry. And I'm telling you, the way I would fail on putting in certain bills, and then basically that would mess up my mother's business or my dad. I was not with it, and I failed 3 times to the point I said I'm not doing this anymore. So that's a little thing for everybody. Do not do data entry; it will murder your heart. Yeah.
This would be my last question before we go for the day. What's like some favorite songs? You guys have some favorite songs you want to shout out, or some favorite bands or records?
Sure. I would say early Velvet Underground is like kind of untouchable. Like Sister Ray is a masterpiece, and all the stuff on the Velvet Underground and Nico is always really great. I was raised on like classic rock. Huh?
Like touching a ding dong, or what is it? Like touching a
on a ding dong.
Sister Ray, yeah.
That's another thing.
Since I've heard that.
That's probably another thing me and BD were listening to, like when we got started. I was raised on like classic rock, so I've always liked like the Beatles and the Who and Hendrix and all the rest, and the Stones and everything. Throbbing Gristle hit me really hard in high school. That was like a big like door opening. Negative Land is another one of my all-time favorites. The Residents. Those 3 were like really opened the door to exploring other stuff. I really got into like Aphex Twin, Boards of Canada, Warp Records, kind of ambient stuff. That was big for me. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I mean, tons of punk stuff like Dead Kennedys, Buzzcocks, Misfits, Godspeed You Black Emperor's favorite, Lightning Bolt, Black Dice. I got tons of favorites.
We really could go all day with the amount. I mean, we gotta give an honorable mention to Sleigh Bells, even though what's her name again? That girl. What's her name with the D? She kind of stole that song. What's her name again? That pop star. Something. I'm not gonna get into it, but she stole that song. I forgot her name. Famous pop star that was on Disney. Bang. But yeah, we gotta get up to Sleigh Bells. They definitely are in there. Sleigh Bells, Crystal Castles. You know, I don't really like what that guy did to Alice. But there's a big influence on some of the electronic songs we haven't recorded yet. And then the top 5, three for me are like still Block Party, still Sonic Youth, and then I'm gonna still say songs like Across All Boundaries. The influence is definitely from Interpol. Even though a lot of people would say it sounds more Joy Division, which is also another honorable mention. But I also
there's a recording of us playing that song, and you said this song goes out to Wire, if you remember that too. So
that's true too. Yeah, that's true.
Wire, we like you were like when we first started playing, you were also really into Bikini Kill. I was like really into this band Be Your Own Pet at the time. I still like them, but I was like crazy obsessed with them at the time.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking
Put
the
it there
time.
because we can go on and on and on about our favorite bands. So thank you, awkward pause. Thank you.
No, I appreciate you guys taking the time to join Vibe Osmosis. So Brian, you said you had some effects going and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could like. Oh, sorry, my guitar's on right now, so let me turn it off.
You can crank it up. I want to hear what you cooking.
Well, I have my guitar rig up, but then I was just playing like I was doing some NBA Jam stuff. So when Mike went track, but when Brian was done, I did this. So I said, you know, I said that he's on fire, boom shakalaka, and then I was playing my guitar through guitar rig. So I had like my Strat going. Wait, sorry. Wait, so oh wait. Okay, power's not on. But I have my Strat going through a clean signal. That's just clean, just straight up clean. But yeah. But I mean, this is like where you're at right now. I hate to say
Good
it.
idea.
Here's my little studio. This is my bedroom, but there's a whole bunch of gear in there. You got basses,
Right,
guitars.
for recordings.
You got a basses, guitars, a piano to the side of me, monitors, a little guitar amp. This is like where I record all my music.
Yeah, I keep everything here in the nearby, even buckets of paint to huff later.
I always wanted to sample hitting a paint can. I'm gonna do that actually today on my phone. I really want to.
Yeah, I got
Because-
microphone nearby.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta keep it all nearby.
Because I can do so much in here, but my house is my I do that too. Like I do sound design too, so I'll just record anything and just make sounds out of it.
That's where
So I have a whole bunch of sample packs that are just under the guards that no one has. I just make them for the hell of it. I'm like, okay, let me just have all these sample packs for whenever I need them. And most of that stuff's from like YouTube, or I'm just like finding stuff online, like soundboards, going to freesound.org. You can find all the stuff online. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, go ahead and shout out what you guys have working on, going on this year for 2020.
Well, I'll be the one to talk that because I don't think me and Brian are going to be back in the studio soon. Maybe for these electronic tracks we're trying to finish.
We're doing the City Ice guy. Remember?
Okay.
We'll probably record some stuff soon. Yeah, I think.
But for me, I'm just doing my other band, which I got shot them out, even though we're going through a lot of tribulation and stuff. The Venomous Oranges, we got a record that we're working on. I'm trying to make it 10 tracks, but it might be 9. Don't know at the moment. I'm gonna say 9 for now. We're doing that in Amityville with Hugo. He's doing all the production and the recording. And then that band's not going on any shows because we might go on a. Let me not say that now. We might figure out something later. There was a whole discussion about this, but just get ready for the record. The record's definitely going to get made at all costs. And then by the 14th, I'm dropping this random old record I made called Pastries. It's all about eating pastries.
All right.
Weird album to make about pastries, but I decided on it. Then March, I got some stuff probably getting released by my other collabs, Merge DMC, possibly my friend Isis. Don't have anything else planned on that though. Isis and Merge are like my two collabs right now I'm thinking about lately with material. What else am I thinking? That's about all I can say. And then whatever gets cooked up in there, I'm just gonna let it be because the boy, the boy be, And then if y'all really want me to go real hip hop with it, hold on. Let me just do the horns. Let me do the horns. Gotta do the horns. Hold on. I do what I gotta do is quick. So let me quick. I gotta do the horns. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Hot 97 moments.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
So,
Right. Well, I'll be working on this.
and we'll be basically just come to Mr. Barry's April 4th. We got a show. We're gonna rock it out the most. We got 8 songs we're playing. I did send that set list.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna
that's right.
I sent that set list to Brian. So we got 8 songs we're playing. We're just gonna do 8 songs, old and new, and we're just gonna call it a night.
Also, I would say I also got a lot of stuff I'm working on. I have my own band called Brian Kish's Lounge Pants. We've been recording an album with that. I have I want to do a proper release of this solo album I made under the same name, which was called Now a Major Motion Picture, which I put out on VHSs, and I hand collaged each cover to be different, and so that's coming out later this year. I play in a band called War Honey on bass. I do solo noise stuff. I do like a residency where I do like movie reviews / shows.
And covers.
And covers, and I got the movie review channel, which is just under my name, Brian Kish Reviews. So I'm always like working on stuff as well. But he's a very, very busy man too. He's always putting out hip hop albums, and Oranges is a great band. So
that's what I see. Well, I'll be keeping in touch, and I'll be working on that. So you guys have a good rest of your day, all right?
Is this? I just want to. One thing, Jeffrey, we're gonna be posting this like everywhere, right? So you just gotta do a little edit, right?
Oh okay. Yeah. I'll be taking some time on it.
All right, man.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for having us, and everyone have a good day. If you really,
I don't know how the hell on earth you found us, but thank you for reaching out. Really appreciate it, and it was really nice talking to you and meeting you.
Definitely.
They're Bandcamp, so you gotta think Bandcamp.
Yeah, definitely go check out the elephantwalk.bandcamp.com with an A, not an E. We don't do those E's around here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We hip hop. We put that A.
That's some West Coast crap. No offense.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely West Coast. Yeah, we're not from the East Coast. We're West Coast. You know.
I can't hear it. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't need to get on to NWA, but to NWA, when that song
Came out, I felt that. That was that real gangster rap.
Was that 2 minutes silence by John and Yoko?
I couldn't hear anything.
No. Oh, okay. You couldn't. Okay, forget it.
Yeah. All right.
No, I was playing F the Police, but let me not get them on it because there's a lot of police on this Zoom anyway.
That's right. All right. Thank you for joining the Vibe
Thank you,
Osmosis,
Jeffrey.
you guys.
One love. One love.
Don't you know that I love you? surrounds you, and your body is mine too. What it's like with my fingertips around you. Hanging out in the right room. Everything that trembles and crumbles and rumbles inside your rattling, rattling, rattling brain. It's round to come to your life, and your body can spray and spray and pray. The beach is cold with bodies that spray.